things to say. Thank you very much for having me. I always am surprised when people are surprised that I was in the military before I decided to make an earnest attempt at becoming an actor, probably because on the outside, the acting community and the military community couldn't be more polar opposites, and they are opposites in many ways. I remember describing to my friends who were in the Marine Corps still when I was in acting school, what I did all day was basically wear pajamas and find my inner color, and had this one acting exercise where we actually gave birth to ourselves, and trying to explain that to them, I could tell that there was obviously a disconnect between what was happening in my day-to-day and their day-to-day. And the end game is different, but the process is actually remarkably similar. They're acting in military a little bit, just that, you know, you have a role within a team. It's not really about you, it's kind of about the bigger picture, in this case, a story. There's someone directing that mission. Sometimes they're smart, sometimes they're not. The discipline, the self-maintenance, the throwing basically a bunch of people together who don't know each other and forcing them to be intimate in a short amount of time. It's all very similar to acting, and that's not really a new idea. That goes back to, well, it goes back to the Greeks, I guess, of Sophocles and Aeschylus, all those guys writing plays who were military generals. You had to be elected military general, and they also wrote plays for a military audience. You know, Athens, all at war at six fronts at the time. So you had people in the military watching plays written by generals about what it was like to be in the military. And I was very fortunate, actually, to have found acting, I guess, post being in the military, because I don't know about many people in this room, but I feel like my adjustment from military life to civilian life was abrupt. I mean, not obviously as abrupt as others, but there's definitely, on one side, you get out and you have all this confidence that, you know, civilian problems are small, and there's nothing that you haven't faced in the military world that you can't tackle as a civilian. I wanted to be an actor, so I'll move to New York and I'll live in Central Park and I'll eat berries if I need to, and I was gonna do it. I was gonna accomplish that mission. But at the same time, all my training as an infantry Marine in the Marine Corps really doesn't. Not a lot of skills are applicable to civilian world. There's not really a lot of things to blow up, or you have to watch how you talk to people. You can't use as much profanity as you want to. Even in a speech, it's really challenging. All these things are messed up. Anyway, but I found acting, and that was very fortunate for me, because for the first time, I was able to put words to feelings, and for me, that was very important. I was realizing the power of self-expression, and that's just as valuable as any tool that you can put in your pack, as the means to be able to express yourself, whatever, in this case, you know, film, television, theater, whatever, but to be able to articulate a feeling is so important. That's why I think it's important. Thank you so much for having me here, and it's such a privilege and honor to be in this room, to support projects that support a service community. You know, it's important for a military, I think, to be aware of, because, you know, a military organization, it's, you know, good and bad things. A military that prides itself on being good communicators, they have acronyms for acronyms, can sometimes get lost in the sauce when it comes to, you know, explaining a collective experience. And that's an important thing, I think, to look at. But it's also important for the bigger picture, for the world, you know, whatever, the society at large. What better community to arm with a means and platform of self-expression than those protecting our country. So thank you very much for having me. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you.